Hello, I'm Curtis Garrison, and I'm a Boy Scout child sex abuse survivor and claimant in the Boy Scouts bankruptcy. And Lisa B, not to be confused with Cardi B. I'm sorry if that's a bad joke, but anyway, um, not related to Cardi B, is here. She was in the Boy Scouts Explorer program, and there's been some recent news regarding some recent abuse that's happened in the Boy Scouts Explorer program. Um, just like a week or two, I think it was July the 4th is when this incident happened and was an arrest. But Lisa, can you introduce yourself and just share whatever you'd like to as far as like when you joined the Explorer program and even talk all you like as far as like how that happened, how you heard about it, whatever you'd like to share.
Sure. Well, I was in the Explorers as a teen. I was 15 to about 17, and that was over 50 years ago, like 1973 to 1975, like a year before I graduated high school. And then when the Me Too movement came, I was very interested in that and then that brought up some of my feelings about the abuse from when I was in the Boy Scouts, um, which I didn't, I really didn't think of it as abuse at the time because my scoutmaster, that's who abused me. He made me feel very special and took me out, separately from the group. He knew I had a bad upbringing, so he um, was flattering to me. And, a 15, 16-year-old kid doesn't really know any better. So that's
Right.
kind of how I got involved in all of this. And then when I saw the bankruptcy suit, um, I wanted to get in on that as well. I It brought up a lot of bad feelings from back then, and then telling the lawyers all what happened to me brought up a lot of bad feelings. And then after I let that out, then more bad feelings came up. And then I had to call the lawyers with that stuff. And that went on for a while. But yeah, that's how I got involved in this. And then I
Okay.
joined like Facebook groups and the Reddit group. And it was really nice to know that I wasn't alone in this.
Right. Um, Going back uh, to when you joined, were there other girls involved when you joined? Like, how did you hear about, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about that?
Well, it was in our place of worship. And so I knew some kids who were there because of that. And they said that girls could join. And I liked um, the focus of the group, which was camping and hiking. So um, I think the summer that I was 15, I went on a bicycle group um, with American Youth Hostel. So I like camping out and I like doing that stuff. So I joined, and then I had several of my high school friends who were girls join. Um, and I think there were about 3 or 4 girls in our group of about 10, 11, 12. I don't remember how many people were in it, but
The-
yeah.
Okay. Is the group called Explorer Post? Is that what they would identify as the group as a post, like a um,
Well, that was like our troop number, I
right.
guess.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, the one that was to our we were like post Explorer post number, whatever.
Okay. Uh, so for people that don't know, it's kind of hard to tell the exact history of the Explore program and the stages because it's gone through a little bit of different evolutional steps. But it pretty much began in 1935, and it was supposed to be a senior scout program, and it allowed different ages beyond like the Boy Scout, Cub Scout, Boy Scout, uh, to eventually focus on more advanced, skills, leadership, and high adventure activities is what they're saying. Then it evolved into
Hmm.
more where it was uh, more like a profession, like it got into police, people that were interested in becoming police officers. But I think it was pretty much, I think in 1969 when they started to sort of had the girls join, but I think
Hmm.
we found out it was like more officially formally like 71, I think what we're thinking.
Yeah, officially, yeah, the girls were allowed to join officially in 71.
So you were 73 initially starting.
Yeah.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's really early on. You're a pioneer on that. That's great. You've seen a lot of changes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Um, um, Now, before we go on to more current events and stuff, unless there's anything else you'd like to share, um, do you think that, if you don't mind sharing, do you think that the Scoutmaster he might have felt like you were in a family that you weren't getting attention? Because that's very kind of common and it happened, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he knew that because he was also my bus driver.
Okay.
So in fact, uh, I was the one who encouraged him to join as Scoutmaster.
Okay.
So you could see how my feelings about all this is very complicated.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because we had a long drive home to where we lived. It was a good half an hour. So we would talk. It wasn't just me, it was the other kids on the bus. We would all talk. And eventually, I found out that we were looking for more scoutmasters, so I encouraged him to join.
Okay. Um, and that happens with a lot of the claimants, as far as people I've talked to, as well as also at my church and the three people in my troop. I wasn't in the Explorer program. I'm just saying that it's kind of like you have a familiar connection. It's church, it's maybe the school, sometimes
Exactly.
it's YMCA. But yeah, and then uh, basically
You feel
opportunities.
comfortable. It's like,
Right,
oh, sure, of course. That sounds like a lot of fun.
right. So I wanted to share that the Explorer program isn't as familiar to some people as like the Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts programs, but there have been a lot of media coverage with concerns, and I will post these up there and have links, but I'll post a screenshot. But there was one in 2008, and the Oregon Supreme Court was addressing in Oregon an issue with an explorer. Are they called leaders or scoutmasters? How do they? I don't know.
I keep calling it Scoutmaster.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um, I think, yeah, because Postmaster is
Yeah,
something else entirely.
that's true. That's true. And
But
that's
yeah,
probably part of the program. It was already established. Those, the maybe the training or whatever. So maybe that's just what it stuck to. Well, that'd be interesting to look into. But what I was going to say is they don't say the position this person had, but they were um, a leader that in 2008, and this particular Oregon claim coincidentally was handled by an attorney. I think the pronunciation is Gillian Dumas, So she was involved with many Boy Scout related abuse claims over the years, and this was 2008. There's others, but this is just one that's pretty far back. And uh, Anyway, she was to me a champion on fighting for appealing with the Guam or Luan in Guam claimants that tried to allow us to go after third parties like the churches and the schools instead
Right.
of not being able to hold them accountable as well. Uh, and I will mention that it's upsetting that we can't, like, if the Boy Scouts National, definitely there was negligence and they hid and protected these perpetrators, and some are moved around and stuff, to the point that it was I mean that executives that worked at Boy Scouts National and uh, at the what they call like regionals, the BSA councils,
Right, right.
they were employees of the Boy Scouts of America. So it was very problematic, and I'm just saying that uh, these schools and these entities in the bankruptcy were not going to be able to be held accountable. So what they would do is look at our claim and go, "Oh, well, you're at this church and you knew the priest, so they're going to half what your recovery should have been just because you had an existing relationship or you were at the church, but not
Yeah,
allow
that's
you to go
crazy.
right, and then not allow you to go after the church to get the harm done for the other half that the Boy Scouts was saying they were responsible for." So that's a big problem. But uh, anyway, she has a partner, two attorneys at the in Oregon. I'll put the the name of the um, these two all female led, I think, all female attorney law firms that tried to appeal and help us with being able to go after the churches and schools and et cetera entities that were charters. They were charting organizations that had these troops and explorer posts and stuff like that. That was 2008, but there was also an article in 2003. I kind of went backwards. And 1970s. I appreciate you just sending that. I missed that one.
Yeah, I missed that
So
too. I haven't seen that before.
okay, well, five women sue the Boy Scouts over a 1970s Montana. Okay, so we'll share that one as well. I'll add that. And 1970s, that's probably they knew in New York Times. They had an article that was in the 1930s. I'll find that real quick while I'm talking. So there was, here it is. This is, sorry, there you go. Basically, it says up here oops, sorry, in the uh, in the corner here, the
Oh,
date,
yeah.
and it talks about the perversion files. It was called the red list because they put a red dot on a Rolodex, and then they would
Right,
red flag list. But this was 1935, so they knew there was a problem. But 1970s, that's very brave for those five women to come out and to try to fight for accountability, because things didn't happen back then. I mean, you didn't have a whole
right.
bunch of
You-
awareness and legal infrastructure or
If
case
it was
history.
just one girl, they wouldn't have believed her, but five girls, they had to.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you shared that because that might be a new to me article. Sorry, I'm putting the things away there. So I will say we have this chart, and these are how memberships have happened. This
Oh,
is
okay.
this is the 1900s, and these colors, the purple is the Explorer programs. So it kind of trickled little bitty dots here, and then it kind of grew more. And my video is backwards, so my fingers go in the wrong direction. But so anyway, so yeah, so over here in the newer, as the membership starts to plummet, this was sorry, I'm going this way. This is with the pandemic and everything, they really
Oh,
dropped.
right. That's right.
And this number goes to 2023, but what's happened since then, and I'm pretty sure it's the full year 2025 is the latest data as we have, but it's under a million. But I do want to emphasize, the percentage of the Explorer program memberships, but the thing is also emphasize the numbers of how they're going up and then down. And if you look over here
Right.
in the 19, so backwards, I'm sorry. So you can read it correctly, but I'm looking at the opposite. Anyway, uh, just making excuses here that I can't drive this thing well. But in the 1930s, we're at levels. right now, especially 2025, at less than a million that haven't been seen since the 1930s. So they're really struggling with memberships, and in fact, they have more camping reservation spots than they have members to fill them all. If they were all to go to camping, they just wouldn't have enough to, to cover um, their even, operating costs and everything. It's really getting hard on them. Um, and I will say this is another chart showing the abuse that's been reported, and you can see
Yeah.
that
Mm.
it kind of mirrors the ups and downs of the memberships. So, and this is people that reported. There's a lot of people I personally know that didn't report, didn't apply to be a claimant, and they didn't file a claim. So those are the people that have been recorded to have actually um, come forward. Um, but I did want to mention there's another article, I'm sorry, another news article that was a 2008 that you shared, but I'm sorry, the 1970 that you shared after I shared the 2008. But there's also an article. It's called "Sex Abuse in the Cop Scout Program," and it's a CBS News article, and we'll share that one as well. But they have lists of these people that come forward and details of where they were. That one was more in Tennessee and Texas in general, but there are great articles that we will share that show in detail how like a couple hundred of these claims have been made, and it's from the Marshall Project, and it says why riding along with a police officer can leave teens vulnerable, and that's because they're riding one to one. They're not even using the what they
Right.
call
That's
is yeah, they call it
the
too deep, but that's
too deep. Right.
I hate
Hmm.
that I don't know why they didn't say two adults per child or two two
I
adults or
think
something.
it's a military term, I think.
Probably that's the yeah, and the source or how it originated. But the thing is they were riding around for hours and hours, and they put a new rule kind of recently that they don't allow them to be past midnight. So these are teenagers. I mean, like
Hmm.
14 years old maybe, that are, which I don't think adults are safe sometimes with these police officer going to a scene and maybe coming across a murder or coming across some dangerous situations. But this is what they allow is these teenagers that are interested in becoming potentially like police officers or some law enforcement type of career path. And they were allowed to stay past midnight to a certain point, and then also they were allowing them until I think 2024 to be one kid with a one adult. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think it was 2025 is actually when that ended, so it was up to 2024, and it's because there was another um, reported abuse situation that happened to they were investigating that, and then they said, okay, we're they were getting so many um, so much pressure on why is this possible, and also that's after the Sandra Birchmore situation incident. I don't know how else to put it because it's just tragic. It's just
Oh,
horrible.
it's horrible.
Yeah, I think she started earlier, but she was initially being sexually abused at age 15.
15,
Um,
right. She joined when she was 13,
oh wow, yeah,
if
it
I
was
remember
earlier.
correctly, 12 or
You,
13.
You're right. I thought it was a couple years, so that's probably when she was depending on the when year of her age started and everything. So 13 years old, but she was starting to be sexually abused at 2000 when she was 15, and in 2021, um, she was found. What they thought it looked like a suicide, and then it was further investigated because a lot of people were really upset and wanted to get answers, and they figured out it was a murder, and a lot of that is being covered. And there's a great in the media, pretty good, but there's a great Facebook group, and it's Justice for Sandra Birchmore, and it has over 20,000 members. I've seen this group grow just with a lot of really good support from the community and people from all over wanting to understand what's happening with it. And there's a um, some activity where they're going to have a hearing. I thought it was going to be October, but it looked like there was something a little earlier than that. Initial. There's been some testimonies and stuff earlier. I think it was the end of last year or the early this year. I'm just sorry. There's so much.
There's a lot because it's like I initially thought it was September 2,
Yep.
but I think it says October here, but I think it's been moved up.
Okay. And there's a lot of people don't know how much activity there is, even with like I said, the July 4th. But yeah, that's ongoing too, where he's going to be have his hearing, and I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's this here Machuca, but he was
Oh,
a
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so he's arrested June. Okay, he was arrested June 27th. So I think it came out in July the 4th or so, but the um the news media was covering everything. Um but yeah, it was I think a 15-year-old girl as well. But we'll have links to that information. But I would strongly recommend, some people love or hate Facebook, but if you want to be uh updated on this Facebook group is great. Um, I would just share that the admins, because they'll be happy to, uh, this is public. They'll be happy to have you join them and be able to get updated. But Barb Wright and then Mizzy, which her account name is A Mixed Up Girl in a Mixed Up World. They
Mm,
run a really great Facebook group. I don't know anybody else covering this as well as they are and managing a Facebook group about this topic. Sometimes, you get these people that come in there and they just want to be really hateful and mean, and they do a great job keeping that to where it's very focused on justice and on Sandra Birchmore. And there's a lot of podcasts and other coverage going on with that that's going to be helpful. Um, but yeah, is there anything else, Lisa, as far as current things that we can share and have links to, and then we'll just keep adding to it? Um, any
well,
any thoughts on the Explorer
we
program?
could
Sorry.
add something about the Trey's law
Oh, thanks. Yeah, definitely. That's a great. It's related
in
to.
Texas.
Well, I was fortunate to be one of the survivors that testified,
Oh,
and in Texas. Oh, did you not know that? I'm sorry.
I did not know that.
Oh,
Awesome.
great. I will send you a link because there's a group of we do want to sort of revisit that because Texas was probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest, law against sexual abuse. It applied Trey's law eliminates NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. Um, it eliminates them for children, adults, and it's retroactive. So no matter when that was signed, and if it was any kind of sexual abuse related situation,
Right.
it's no longer uh, legal. No, it doesn't hold. And what that allows, some people wonder, well, how can that be an NDA keeping that kind of crime? And what that allows is a criminal, the perpetrator, you can go after them, and they can go to jail. But when you have an institution like a church or Boy Scouts, like employees of the Boy Scouts, they may know stuff that they saw, like things, the way things were handled, to bury information. We got a lot of missing files. I mean, there was a lot of perpetrators, close to 7,700, like, almost 8,000 of them that had been sort of released public. Not all of them are even released, they're still redacted, but somebody's going to know how many more were destroyed and everything, but they may be where they want to get
Yeah,
their
who knows?
yeah, they have a pension plan and they need to have that to retire on. And if they say anything, they'll lose that because it's part of the agreement. When they leave and retire, they have to sign an NDA or they lose the pension plan. That's the situation.
Right. Well, if you think about him, that's what Epstein did with all these girls.
Yep, yep.
So yeah,
It's all stacked to try to silence survivors, but survive people that can help the survivors are silenced. Like there might be, if NDAs are eliminated, it might be that a gardener or a pilot, like with the Epstein files, they may be able to speak out because they can't say anything without real penalties. And they also might not be able to say anything because of there's fear and other concerns. But if that law is gone, then collectively more and more people may come out, and then they'll be able to speak and not have any like contractual repercussions and stuff.
Right.
But that right now, not only has it gone through Texas unanimously last year and went into law, I think it was September the 1st, because Missouri, I think was like August the 28th. It was a couple days before that. It went into law. It wasn't retroactive, but that was a big thing for Missouri to finally eliminate to help survivors. But 7 or 9 states, Trey's Law, I'll put that on there, treyslaw.org is where you can find information, but 7 or 9 states, depending on the type of implementation or status of Trey's Law being in law, um, the law active is current. But the big thing is earlier this year, it was submitted into the U.S. Senate, and they were kind of falling over each other to co-author it, and it went through and was unanimously voted through U.S. Senate. And then it's making its way through the House. So if you want to contact your representative and encourage them to vote, I'm thinking it's
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's going to be good, but it went through the U.S. Senate unanimously, and we need to get it through the House, and then it becomes a law, and that will eliminate it on a federal level. So that's going to be a big milestone, especially maybe with the Epstein files and the Boy Scouts, like I said, employees and other people that are no longer able to speak because of that NDA. Other than that, we definitely have other Explorer um, survivors that we're looking to attend and share, but we are going to follow up with that. And maybe we'll have a panel discussion if enough of us are able to meet at one time. But Lisa was the first explorer and maybe the first. I don't know if there's other women survivors that have spoken out. I know there's Netflix documentaries, Hulu documentaries, that some men have spoken out from being abused in Boy Scouts, but
Right. Yeah, not women.
thank
And
you
a
so
lot of people
much.
don't know that young women were in the Explorers, even in our survivor groups.
For so long
It's like,
ago. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and not only that, we do want to reach out to women that are there's a community that hopefully wants to share. And what I was going to say is they maybe where they had a Boy Scout troop over and they weren't members of the Boy Scout troop, but their brother was.
right.
And then the
Mm,
scoutmaster unfortunately sexually abused them, so that's why they're claiming it. Or maybe they were in the Explorer program, or maybe it was later on when girls were allowed, and it was a recent situation. Like Sandra Birchmore was up to 2021. That was recent. Even though it
right.
was Explorer, there's girls that have been in the Boy Scouts, as maybe even Eagle Scouts, that there are women that have been abused, and there are also women that are really important um, part of the bankruptcy where their husband might have died and they didn't know
Yes, the
until they
widows. Yeah,
died that they
and
were
and a daughter. I know that there's a daughter who just found out that her father was a claimant and
right.
he
And
had passed.
and that's
That's really
great.
sad.
I was going to say it's great that the family is coming forward to find out how they can, in honor of the lost father or husband. Um, but what I'm trying to say is for them not to, it's not always the case. Some are supportive and then they pass away and the family's still trying to keep it going. Um, but it's really when they don't even know until they start getting like emails or something in the mail, and they're like, "Hey, what's this
Right.
letter about a Boy Scout bankruptcy claim?" And then they find out after their father or husband has passed away that, oh
Passed
my
away.
gosh, they were
Right.
abused. Yeah. So lots of lots of complicated concerns that how it impacts people. I'll just share that it is July 17th, and the first was the we received it like a week after, but the first is the last date up to where we found out that out of 82,209 that over 62,000 of our claims have been processed or gotten to the point where they've reached um, an assigned determined amount due for that claimant. So that's 62,000 claims that they beat us up. They try to get it as minimal as possible. They try to get away from the liability, but that's 62,000 that fought to the point where they were given a determined an award amount. They call it an award
Right.
amount. So I'm
My
hoping,
claim hasn't even been approved yet
uh,
after 6 years. Is that crazy or what?
right. You're not alone, but
I
do you have
know.
access to a portal? Do you see any
Yeah, I
activity?
do. I
Okay,
do.
okay. That's at least that's happening because some people are just waiting to hear from the attorney some kind of update. They don't have much, you know. Now, I will say from the 82,209 settlement number of claims, uh, the 62,000 plus that have been to the point where they, are still active that we know, uh, there's a gap there of a couple, 20,000, and good many of us have passed away. Some have been given up. I know people that just, 2 or 3 years into it, they just said, I'm out,
Right.
unfortunately. And then
Which
again,
I totally understand too, because this is so frustrating.
yes, I mean it's more harm done going through the process, and it's just constant. It's a wound that just keeps going on for years. It'll be next month, the 18th of next month. I think it's 6 years and 6 months. So um, so anyway, well, Lisa, I want to thank you so much for actually. Can you explain the patch so that people can on
Sure.
yeah, thanks.
It was a patch I earned for going on a camporee um with our district. It was like thousands of kids from our district were at this big camporee, like from Cub Scouts to Explorers and Eagle Scouts. So it was like a big get together.
That's great. And the jamborees, camporees, those are really neat because you meet new people from different
Yeah, it's
from
fun.
all over. Yeah, and that says 1973 on it.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Yep.
well, Lisa, was there anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
There isn't. There isn't. I
Okay. Well,
just said
thank
I
you
wish this
again.
was finished. This lawsuit, stupid case was finished.
You're right, right. Well, we've got a U.S. trustee hearing coming up. I think it's the 24th, so it's a few more days left before that milestone, and who knows if it'll be some time after that before he follows up with some kind of report or results from that hearing. I don't know, but um, it's always milestones and uh, delays. So we'll share more about that in a different podcast. What hopefully that will those results will be in our favor or not. We'll see. So hopefully he's
Yeah.
fighting for us. So he's got a lot of issues he's trying to address. All right, well, Lisa, thanks so much. I guess we'll wrap up and we'll have updates and other explorers to talk with us hopefully soon. And we look forward to hearing more. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Curtis.